This is an astrological breakdown on how to find love using astrology. You see, most people are in a relationship, but what people are looking for is love. Now, before I go into this, if you've ever had an astrological reading from myself, then kindly leave a review below, as this will help me to improve my services to you. So, most people are looking for love, truthfully. However, how do you go about this? First and foremost, the planet which transits the fifth house in astrology is known as the house of love. Why? Because love is what we create. Art, music, and the way we express our hearts is moved by love. So in essence, the key here is to listen to your creative arts, because that will show you what you love. What you love to create is your foundation of your self-love. So in essence, the fifth house represents what you love to create, therefore means what you love to give to the world. So when a planet transits that fifth house, it's telling you the area and how you are expressing that heart chakra. So the significator for love is Venus. Venus is the key. Now, let us go into this fifth house so we can help you find love. Now, the key here, the sign that is in the fifth house represents the planet which will show you where love is within you. So if the sign is Taurus, we're going to use that example in your fifth house, then we have to look at where Venus is placed, because Venus represents the planet which governs Taurus. So if your Venus is in the seventh house, for example, that will mean that you want love to be relating constantly, one-to-one. So this is one way of looking at it. And so we have to determine how you are working. So the seventh house is about partnerships. So you want your relationship to have some kind of partnership, or whenever you work creatively, it has to be done through partnerships. So this is one of the keys to identify how you express your art or your creativity. And so remember, love is a poetry. How are you going to find your words to give to show that this is what love represents for you? This is what you want to show to the world. Your talent is your divine possibility to show to the world. So the essence, how do you find love? Once you've identified who you are, what it is that you love to create, you are then able to find someone with that same faculty, and then thus you relate. Now, one thing that I want to say, love eventually leads to realization. Love represents the key to freedom. The freedom to express is love. Now, most people are in a relationship, and what the relationship represents is the seventh house. The seventh house governs partnerships. Relationships are restrictions, meaning that there is some kind of adjustment that needs to be made. A relationship doesn't fulfill life. A relationship only fulfills the nature of a contract. Life is governed by the aspect of freedom to create. So to fulfill life, one has to create. And that's why we are here. We are all born based upon the aspects of being able to create. So in essence, if your relationship is not allowing freedom, then there is a missing key here. And so in order to be in a relationship, the key is freedom first. Otherwise, your relationship is based upon emotions. It's not based upon the heart. So there's a difference a fine difference between the heart and commitment. Once the heart is at the point of freedom, then it can find the right relationship. So it's better to be in love than to be in a relationship that is fulfilling just emotional needs. Because love stimulates the faculty of self-realization. Once you send out or give that love unconditionally, without anything in return, you have fulfilled the essence of realization. This leads you on to the spiritual faculty within your birth chart, within your life, we should say. And that stimulates the faculty of truth, because what moves your heart leads you to the truth. And the truth is what we worship. The truth is that most people are in different spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs. This is because you've found the truth for that moment, but truth grows as a result. So the truth is always changing, but the truth really is stimulated by the heart, which sends you based upon your freedom to express your creativity, and then finally it leads you to realization. You find that ha-ha moment and say, oh, that is why. And thus, that is you realizing your heart, and thus you're now seeking that truth. So the ultimate key is to be able to find a relationship that can stimulate your heart. Otherwise, you are not in the right relationship if you are not able to express yourself honestly. And the next level is that the 7th house represents relationships in the sense that the heart has to be balanced. This is why the scales represent Libra, and the 7th house is the house which governs Libra, and it's also where the feather, your heart is weighed against the feather. And so can you balance yourself? Can you balance yourself? Are you able to give your freedom to someone and be protected by it? Is there a mutual understanding, a mutual exchange? This is the art of relationships, a mutable exchange. If there's a fairness, then you are in a correct divine relationship. Are you both happy expressing what you're expressing? Or is there some kind of attachment where the attachment is not based upon freedom? If it's based upon freedom, then you lead yourself to the truth. If it doesn't reveal freedom, then you haven't fulfilled the nature of life, and you have to move to the right state or the right partnership or relationship that can utilize you move into the source of freedom. So that's the essence. So let us go deeper astrologically now. So when we look at a planet like Mars, Mars will stimulate pleasure in the 5th house, or the desire to express yourself. Whereas Venus will make you feel the need to want to relate and give and share a relationship. So the 5th house shows where love can start. The 7th house is when it gets down to it. And so if you, or should we say, when planets move into the 5th house, it's a time to see whether this relationship can work, and if it's something that is moving you with honesty, right? Be honest to yourself, because it's the source of your heart that is at play. And then finally, when we move into the 7th house, because you're certain and sure, this is why you make contracts in the 7th house. A relationship is a contract. And yes, of course, there's karma involved. So karma is the key. So your karma determines the kind of relationship you're going to be in. And this is based upon what you create and how you create it. So this is why Music is an art. The heart is pushed by the essence of love. So the heart is an instrument that moves according to love. So your heart is creatively going to move in a certain rhythm based upon your attraction and what you like to express within. And that is the key to relationships. Once you can connect with the heart, when there's a planet that moves into your fifth house, stimulates the heart. The moon does that every 28 days, by the way. And it can show you how you are expressively connecting and expressing your heart. Okay. And then you are ready for the contract, which is the seventh house of relationships. When a planet like Jupiter or Saturn moves into the seventh house and it's in the correct sign, then it can lead you into the right kind of relationship. Now, I never tell whether you are going to be in the relationship for you for a lifetime, because we always go through change. And so it's up to us to make the decision on whether to stay in a relationship or not. However, certain planets like Saturn will say you are or you have to meet that karmic tie. So this was my breakdown on how to find love using astrology. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that was very insightful. And if it was, please leave a comment below. And thank you so much. Peace.